Hi, this is Tony, the host of the Flicks X-Rayed podcast. Each week, I am joined by guests.
Meow.
Hello.
Yo.
Why, hello there.
Hello.
Hey.
Hello.
Hello.
And we have a roundtable discussion where we dig deep and X-ray a bunch of our favorite films, and some really terrible ones too. We really like to go back and take a look at films that may be forgotten, maybe in the past, and still lovable films. If you want, you can follow us on all the major platforms, iTunes, Google, Stitcher. If you want to find out more, you can find us online at www.flicksxrayed.com. And you can also find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram if you want to reach out to us. Good night, Internet.
Hey there, this is John from Pino Comics.
And I'm Lloyd, also from Pino Comics.
And I'm the other John, and you get it by now. As you may know, we sometimes use language on this show that can be described as...
Filthy.
Okay.
Reprehensible?
Crude?
Sure.
Nasty.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, guys. We all know that it's just plain out gutter talk.
You've been warned. Listen in.
Hey, it's another episode of your favorite. The best. A podcast, at the very least. It's Pino Comics. Sir John, Johnny Ganache, and for the first time officially ever, the Manster is now the third co-host, or host. We hate saying co-host.
He's our third leg.
He's our third leg.
Hey,
That's
now.
right.
Actually, my threat ganglia fell off this morning. I
Did it?
feel like a new man.
Did you evolve into a brand new Kelpian?
Such a nerd already.
That was super nerdy. That was super nerdy, but that's cool. That's cool. That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
That was for you folks that don't either A, pay for CBS All Access, or B, steal it. That was a Star Trek Discovery joke.
It has been renewed for the third season.
Yeah, I saw that today. Yeah. And you know what? Deservedly so, in my opinion.
I agree.
I know you. I'm still in awe because John is like the hardcore Star Trek guy here. And we've talked about it before with all of the problems that show seemed to encounter to begin with. It seemed like there was no way it could be good. And it has been fucking really good.
Yeah,
so
It's been good.
we'll talk about that in a little bit. I think the first thing we should cover today, besides the Manster's promotion, again, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here.
Seriously, you've been on
full time.
Now I want a beer.
This is technically episode 76, right? So we started off with a brand new intro. We're still using the same music with a brand new intro with Lloyd involved.
Yeah.
And in all reality, I'd have to look through. You probably had been on at least 30 shows.
Not to mention
it might
radio
be that
episodes.
many.
And
too.
radio episodes.
In radio, yeah.
Yeah, this is 76 of the podcast, and then there's another probably 80 or whatever of the radio show.
Honestly, I don't have the count with me.
Yeah.
I left that at home.
I believe it was your first show where you did the Malort challenge.
That's where you got the name,
posed
right?
it, right?
Yeah.
And I think I texted you after that show. I said, I'd like to come do that.
Yeah.
And the rest is history.
Yeah, and we're moving, and see, it's all circular because
I'll be doing more of those next week.
that's right. Yeah. So John is going to his annual pilgrimage out in Wisconsin to GaryCon number 11?
11, yeah.
GaryCon 11.
I mean, 11 straight years I've been going to this thing.
Damn.
But he didn't go to all of them because there was technically a zero.
Yeah, well, 0 was the actual funeral.
Yeah.
No.
So
that's a bummer.
Again, if you're not familiar with GaryCon is a gaming convention that John goes to that's in tribute of Gary Gygax.
Right. GaryCon 0, as some people have been calling it, was actually the follow-up after the services were done. And people gathered up and played games, and then they decided at that point that they wanted to continue that. And that's when GaryCon 1 was done, which at that point, they didn't think they were going to do any more than that. And then
11 years later.
Yeah, now it's thousands and thousands of
big
people.
time.
It's big time.
Sure, it was mentioned on a stupid TV show.
John doesn't like to mention it, but the Big Bang
the Big Bang Theory? Yeah.
Which I'm not a fan of either, but they actually they talked about it on their show.
Yep.
And the other thing I wanted to bring up, which I think is pretty cool, is Pino Comics, the pre-Lloyd years, as they're now referred to, started in April. Technically started in April of 2017, and our very first episode, I don't know if John's going to remember this or not, we recorded right after you got back from Gary Con.
Is that right?
And the first episode was almost entirely about Gary Con.
Oh, no kidding.
That's right.
Yeah.
I remember.
We started off right there.
The old Chester A. Arthur episode.
That was
was a
like
great
4
one.
or 5.
Oh,
yeah, that
okay.
was like
A little
4 or
later.
5. Yeah, it was a little bit later. But
Want
yeah,
to do another one?
I still love that to this day. I think that was one of the best moments of the show. Was at the very end of episode 1. John very goofily said to me, "Want to do another one?"
Yeah.
Meaning, do you want to do another episode? And it just fit in with the fact that we had done a podcast prior, and that's when I decided we're going to name the shows after something someone said in every episode. So
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
you know
good
what?
idea.
That was the perfect last line of the first episode. Want to do another one? Yeah, let's go. And now we're 2 years later and 75 episodes in. I know that math doesn't make sense, but it takes certain weeks out to put a couple of radio episodes out there as well. But I think what we got to talk about right now is, since we're talking gaming, you went up, John, to TotalCon again.
I did. TotalCon 33 up in Marlborough, Massachusetts at the Best Western Suites and whatever they're called. I don't know.
And Lou and I could not go. We went last year, the three of us, and it was a great time. Lou, actually, want to throw this out there. Lou had a very successful gallbladder surgery. I talked to him today. He's doing well. He said he was very high the first day, and,
Yeah, he was,
I
yeah.
didn't hear from him the second day, and I knew
He spelled well.
he did. He did
Yeah.
very good.
Yeah.
He actually wrote out the entire lyrics to the song "Cocaine" on a messenger chat. I think he might have actually been on cocaine, but he had his gallbladder torn out of his body. He's feeling better, so he couldn't go, and I couldn't get up there for work. But John went, and
Well, I ran games.
you ran games,
Which
yeah.
was the goal, because I ran a couple of games at their Summer Sizzler, which was a one-day event in September of last year.
That's right, yeah.
I ran 2 events, Gary Con Presents, and from there, it was a couple of Gary Con Presents adventures that were tournament adventures at Gary Con in previous years. So I decided to run them as events at TotalCon for people that have probably never run in them before. And there was going to be a bigger deal going on with them, but it got postponed. So I just ran the events and enjoyed it. But I was in the Dead Games Society, the DGS. It's an organization that started out in the Midwest, a group of people going to conventions and running games that are no longer supported or printed.
So technically dead
A
games.
dead game, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So, what kind of games?
Well, they're role-playing games.
Role-playing games.
For me,
okay.
but they can be any games. So
Yeah.
any game, any tabletop game that you can think of, the Dead Game Society will support.
Does Dead Game Society support video games?
Not that I know of. I don't really know if they do any of that kind of stuff. It's mostly tabletop stuff. So.
Okay.
But there's a New England chapter run by a guy named Ken Patterson. This guy is the most organized guy I've ever met, and it was an awesome event. I mean, we had our own little room, we had our own tables set up, we had a nice little Dead Game Society booth, and it was pretty cool.
How many people involved in that? In the ones you were running?
There were 3 tables. I think there were 4 or 5 GMs that were there, and I unfortunately missed out on the photograph that they took, but. I was only up there for 34 hours. I calculated it out.
Yeah, you stayed in
Only
some
34.
Fleabag motel down the road.
I did. I went up Friday night because I couldn't get the whole weekend off. It's just too much between that and Gary Con to get 2 4-day weekends off.
Right.
And try and squeeze all that in. But I went up Friday night because our buddy Brian ran a game in our honor, Pint of Comics. He ran a night of Movie Buff.
Yeah.
And,
man, so pissed I missed that.
And well, it's okay because only 2 people showed up.
Hey, you know what? I'll play Movie Buff with one other person.
right. And it was fun. I mean, we had a good time. That's where I saw Tim. How do you pronounce his name? Tim Merzewski
Oh yeah, from Geek Fever Games.
from Geek Fever. He was running.
I'm going to take your pronunciation, by the way.
Okay,
Merzewski. He has one of the most severely long and Slavic-looking last names
Yeah,
I've seen in a long time.
So he was running a playtest of Druid dice, and the guys at the table were just like geared right into it. They were really enjoying it, and I was watching it as he was playing. They were finishing up right when Brian and I got there, and it looked like a highly complex game that I would really get into.
Did you try it or no?
No, I didn't get a chance to. I think he might have run it a couple more times, but for Saturday, I ran most of the day. So
And what games did you run?
I ran D&D, first edition D&D. Sorry, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons. First.
These are these are the jokes that if Lou was here, he would get.
Yeah,
He would look a little lost.
it's
What is the one that everybody hates again? Fifth?
fourth.
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 I
But
know
Lou
that.
likes fourth, right? Is that the one Lou likes?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'm so
He
confused.
he might enjoy it, but it's like it was the only edition from Hasbro or TSR. They don't have the rights to that name anymore. So Hasbro, who publishes or owns D&D at this point through
Hasbro owns D&D?
through Wizards of the Coast. They
Right.
bought the company Wizards of the Coast, so Hasbro has the rights to all that stuff. Between TSR, Wizards of the Coast, and Hasbro, all the companies that have owned Dungeons and Dragons at any given point, they've released sales figures on all the different editions, except for Fourth. They have never released any numbers on it because I think it was that bad.
Was Fourth like, okay, so I don't know the years, but was Fourth like a one and done? Then they dropped 5 a year later, whereas opposed to other ones?
It was pretty close, yeah, because I would say 2 years.
Okay.
I think,
So
because
do the
it
new
tanked
ones
so bad.
supersede the previous one, or
They
is
don't-
there anything from the fourth that's still in the game?
Well, things that are in each of the editions are there. Like the monsters are all there, the character classes, that kind of thing. But the rule set changes. So
right.
you can't, like, I can't take a first edition character and run it through a 5th edition game without converting him to that rule set.
Are these drastic rule sets? Like
In some cases, yes.
Yeah?
Between 1st and 2nd, which are pretty much compatible. 3rd is very different. 3.5 is basically just a.
Holy shit, we got 0.5s?
Oh yeah. They had some rule problems with 3rd, so they did a 3.5 version, which 3rd was very, very popular because they weren't selling any books anymore, because everyone had it, and you're just trying to get new people to buy the books. They decided,
You mean like rule books?
yeah, rule books.
Monster manual.
Yeah, all that
yeah.
stuff. So Hasbro decided, well, let's do a new edition. Make people buy all the
Yeah,
books
I have
again.
to buy it all over.
And I think that's partly why it tanked.
Okay.
That and the fact that rules were not well liked.
So did Fifth come back and bring people back in, or is Fifth considered a...
Fifth is huge. It's
Okay.
absolutely huge. I personally do not like the system, but it is very, very popular. I mean, when you got people... I'm not going to name drop. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. It's annoying. But it's gotten to be really popular again through your social media marketing and your named celebrities, coming out and saying, "Oh, I'm a D&D player. I play D&D," and they actually do.
Right.
Like Will Wheaton.
I have,
But he plays a lot of things.
I have
so.
Pluto TV, which is a
know what that
online...
Yeah,
it's
I
an
have Pluto.
online, right?
Yeah.
And I'm flipping through the channels one night last week, and Will Wheaton has a show called Tabled.
Yeah, table.
Yeah,
And
Tabled.
you're literally watching him and his friends play Dungeons and Dragons or other games.
Or other games.
Yeah.
He, because of his show, or it was like a video podcast is what he
Right.
was doing at the time. He has put games on the map through that.
That's a good thing.
Yeah,
Like, remember
yeah.
Gloom? You remember the card
I've
game Gloom?
heard it, yes,
Yeah,
yeah.
it became really popular because they played it on that particular show.
So that's weird. I mean, I know it's weird because he's a celebrity, but I mean, I'm almost, that's,
he's in a different.
yeah. How did he become a tastemaker with games? Like, what was
It
it?
was just something. I guess he wasn't doing a whole lot. He was home all the time, and he
Right.
wasn't acting much. And he's just a game player. He's just really
he
into
loves
games.
it.
Yeah. So they decided to do this thing with his neighbors.
Yeah.
That's how it started. The neighbors, which were some were celebrities and some were just friends of his.
Yeah, the episode I saw, he had Chris Hardwick on.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
Like two people I didn't recognize.
I guess he started this thing up. It was just game night with him, and he would just invite people over, and eventually they started videotaping it.
And
but-
he's got the next generation cred.
Yeah. Stand by me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, no, I still
One of my
dig the
favorite
guy.
movies.
He's very open about his mental problems. He's had some depression issues and things of that nature, and he's an interesting character.
Yeah, I actually watched the show. I watched like a half-hour show about 4 people playing a role-playing game. I mean, I don't understand the concept of the whole Twitch thing,
Yeah.
So for me to sit there for half an hour and watch 4 people that I don't know play a role-playing game.
My kid will sit there and watch people on YouTube
Yeah,
playing
play
games
video
instead
games.
of
Play
playing the
fucking
game himself.
Right.
Play the fucking game.
Well, it's
Hours.
It's like when
Hours.
we had I forget his name now. The editor from whoa, fuck! Now I'm just completely brain farted here.
All right, I'm going to name a bunch of magazines. You stop me. Hustler. Boys Life.
What's the
Clam Magazine.
community,
Clam
the-
Magazine.
The company. That's never going to go away. The production company that did Community.
Starburns.
Starburns.
Yeah.
So we had one of the editors from Starburns on the radio show, and we were talking about Harmontown, Dan Harmon's
Right.
weird little role playing scenario that
I
they
can
do.
see
and-
why people watch that, though, because they have the animation.
well, they do the animation, which makes it more entertaining.
Right.
Yeah, and it's fun, but I've only seen a few episodes Harmontown. Now that I remember.
He got it out finally. So I have a question about we're talking now. So 5th edition is the latest edition of D&D.
Yeah, it's the current edition.
Okay. I have 2 questions.
Uh-huh.
First of all, what is the difference? So you always say like advanced D&D. Is
Yep.
there actually a D&D?
There was what that
Like,
was
is
called,
it remedial D&D?
It was called basic.
Okay, basic
So
D&D.
So in the early days of Dungeons and Dragons, they had the rule set. It's a slimmed down version of what became advanced D&D. So you get the rule books, and it was just Dungeons and Dragons, and your character class would be elf, dwarf,
Mage.
fighter,
Paladin.
mage. Yeah, well, they didn't have those then.
Oh, okay.
It slowly built up to that point. The advanced rules came in with a little bit more detailed into the combat, armor restrictions, and so on and so forth. And then you had more races and more character classes to go with it. And a lot of people still play what they call OD&D, original D&D, or basic rules.
Question number 2.
Very, very popular.
So they're on version 5.
Yep.
Does Hasbro still make books or anything for the prior versions?
No.
So are the prior versions of Dungeons and Dragons considered a dead game?
Yes.
See?
There you go.
That's that right?
You came around full circle.
And I have one other question.
Mm-hmm.
How far along was Gary Gygax involved until? Like, did he get the 2nd edition? Was he still?
Oh no, he was gone before second.
Yeah, he sold it off after.
He didn't. No.
Oh boy!
All right. We're going to get schooled.
Yeah, let's get schooled.
He was drummed out of the company in the early 80s.
Was he the sole guy?
No.
Okay.
No, there's a long history there about how he brought people in because he needed. Oh God, let's try and bumper sticker this. He needed more investors at a point where the company was expanding beyond its means. I mean, it was becoming ridiculously popular, and he needed to push out more money. He needed more income.
Right.
So he brought a couple of people in that eventually pushed him out, and that's where it all went tits up.
Damn.
There's books out there about it, and there's a new documentary actually being, I think it's finished now. It was done on Kickstarter. Pat Kilbane of Mad TV and
Yep.
so on and so forth. I'm hoping to get some interview time with him this year if I have time myself. At Gary Con's. But
4 days of
oh my god.
Yeah, we have to remind you about that.
Yes, please,
debauchery
because-
and
4 days of debauchery.
debauchery and rolling dice.
Well, I just found out that
Druid
I
dice.
got thrown into a movie hosting on Wednesday night from 10 till midnight. And I'm like, I got to be up the next day to run a game.
But is it Speed 2?
Oh,
See, I got the joke out this time.
No, we're not gonna. No, we're watching things like Zardoz and stuff like
Oh,
that.
Jesus. Sean Connery.
Sean Connery
in his little
Zed,
red underwear.
with his hair extensions.
I've
and
got a ponytail, but I'm totally bald on top.
they've braided my back hair.
Tell me.
I don't know what you guys are even talking about.
you don't know Zardoz?
Zardoz was one of Gary Gygax's favorite movies.
It's
a weird science fantasy.
I've only seen bits of it. It's a mid to early 70s
Mid-70s,
science
yeah.
fiction fantasy
All right.
that features, you'll know it if you ever see any stills of a long black-haired Sean Connery with like a ponytail.
I shall find a picture for you.
Wearing what I could best describe as a woman's bathing suit with his dong flapping around. It's super bizarre.
I bet you if I just type in Zed, the picture will come right.
Will it come right up?
For my phone anyway, because I've gotten this picture in other places.
It's bizarre. It's definitely bizarre.
Well, I'm missing out.
You are. It's actually not a bad movie. It's really weird though.
And I don't know how it works out, but the Zardoz title will make sense to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you see the movie, I've never seen it, but I've heard what it means. And
Man,
yeah.
no, it didn't come up. Well, let me talk a little bit more about TotalCon.
Oh, yeah,
because
yeah.
it was a really, really good show for the 34 hours I was there.
You were let's just say 33. You were there for the 33 hours of TotalCon 33, right?
True, very true. It's a great show. It was a full sellout.
Awesome.
To the point where, and I give them a lot of credit for this because this is really tough to do. The hotel security and convention security was walking around checking badges at every table every day because they were at capacity. and they wanted to make sure that they didn't break the fire code and get the place shut down.
Right.
Wow.
It was very, very important because you don't want that thing shut down
No,
in the
you
middle of
can't
it.
have that.
No.
Oh.
So they're checking everybody. I mean, I'm sitting there in the middle of my game, and a guy comes over, we're badge check. I'm like, everybody's got their badge up.
We're all legit.
Yeah, we're legit. We just won a game, you know.
There was a ton of people there last year. So you're saying, like, was it much bigger than last year?
Sellout.
Wow.
Sellout. They had no badges to sell.
Wow.
That's impressive.
Yeah, that's unusual.
And it was crazy. I was learning about games after the fact that I wanted to play in, and I'm like, next year I want to go for all 4 days if I can. Just it's a big deal, man.
I thought it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
It sounds so much bigger than last year because I remember when you guys went last year.
We were there on Saturday last year. I mean,
Yeah.
and there was a lot of people there.
We were there all day, yeah.
We were there all day. The thing is you don't see all the people because the rooms they use, these little conference rooms inside the hotel,
spread out. Yeah.
They're spread out, and there's 20 people in a room.
Yeah.
But then you go into the main hall, where the kind of like the main ballroom where they had people. Oh, here we go.
That's your Zed.
Oh, geez, I have never seen that. Wow. No, I'm looking at what
Sports Illustrated.
Zardoz is Zed. Zardoz.
Sports Illustrated
Zardoz.
swimming suit issue 1974.
Yeah. The funny thing is this picture doesn't show you his hairy ass. So.
Thank God.
God.
Zardoz. Anyway, so TotalCon was absolutely wonderful. I loved it. The
How was Steve? Did he look like he was?
He was having a good time.
When we saw Steve, the gentleman that runs it, Parentow, right?
Yep.
And his wife,
Angelia.
Angelia. We saw Steve right before we left on Saturday night last year, and he looks frazzled.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, not in a bad way. He had it under control, but he looked like he had a couple of already like long days. So I can imagine what a sellout was. Like.
Honestly,
And all the time leading up to it, that's
Yeah.
got to suck.
it's one of the more organized run events I've ever seen. I went right up to the table because they changed things around in the hotel itself.
Okay.
You haven't been there since they took out that big glass room.
Okay, yeah, right.
So
at
that's
the bottom.
Yeah, so that's where they set up the tables this time for check-in.
Okay.
So I get up to the table and there's this guy who's like, "Oh, you have a badge? Okay, great." And he's like, "Help me out." Done in like less than 5 minutes.
That's
Or
awesome.
actually, I would say 2 minutes. In and out, and friendly as all hell. Great people. Had such a good time.
Obviously, they're doing something right. It's number 33.
and it's like
That's right.
and it's like it's a Gary Con reunion before the con.
I know you
there's-
mentioned that.
Well, there were so many people from Gary Con, not just like people I know that go to the
Prelude
show,
to Gary Con.
but it's like all the guests and stuff like that. So Tim Kask was there again,
Okay,
and,
yeah.
and then some of the game masters I know, like Michael Curtis.
Oh, was,
Jeff Talanian was there again. Yeah. Jeff and I spoke for a while. But this year, the Frog God Games group, which I know fairly well, like Zach Glazer and Skeeter Green and others, and Eric Tenkar from Tenkar's Tavern. I'd love to get on his show at some point. He has a podcast that talks all about gaming, so it's fun
There
stuff.
you go. Let's get John. Let's get John on that show now.
I met a lot of people this year. I wish I had cards to hand out because there's a lot of podcasters going around. There was a group that was there last year doing a big podcast game night.
Okay.
They did that on Friday night, and I think they filmed it too. But yeah, there was a lot going on.
Sounds like a good
Wow,
day.
sounds
up in,
fun.
We
up in
drank a
Marlboro.
lot. We drank a lot. Yeah, we drank a lot. I left Sunday morning at about 4 a.m. ish.
Yeah, I saw you Sunday night for the radio show.
Yeah.
You looked a little crispy.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
looked a little well done.
it was a long day, running games and the difference between like TotalCon and GaryCon. GaryCon, you can drink at the tables, drink your adult beverages at the tables. TotalCon, they can't let you do that, or they choose not to. So you go to your room and do your thing, or you go to the restaurant bar, which is right in the middle of the hotel, and enjoy yourself. Now, listen to this.
Well, does Gary Con get rowdy with all the
Not-
people drinking?
Not rowdy as much, but
No?
it's Wisconsin.
It's Wisconsin,
Oh, okay.
and you got to consider John's level of rowdy, though.
Yeah.
There's probably I'm picturing chairs flying at some point.
No,
that's not rowdy.
Has there ever been? I think I've asked you this.
People have been escorted out, but not. There's never been a fist fight or anything.
Has there
like
ever
that.
been I think this is actually going back to maybe episode 1. I might have asked you this in episode 1. has there ever been a table flipping at CarryCon?
No.
Because that's the ultimate in
Table
gaming.
in anger, right?
In anger.
Pieces go flying
Yeah,
everywhere.
just fucking roof.
I threatened it to a guy because he was like, "Oh, let's have a series of games where my table interacts with your table. It's like someone lobs a spell and it lands in the middle of your game."
Oh,
I'm like,
fuck that.
I will flip your table. You do that with your friends. You don't do that with people you don't know. I mean, it's just no. Don't interrupt my game because you think it's cool to. No.
This portion of Gamer Etiquette by Sir John was brought to you by.
no. But
No cannonball spells over here.
So Friday night, I get there right after work, right? I go right to the bar because I hadn't eaten anything and I wanted food. Like, I'll get a burger and a beer. And first I went around at TotalCon just checking the thing out and seeing if I find anybody that I know. And of course I do, but I don't see Brian anywhere. I don't see any of his group. I go into the bar and there he is sitting at the at the very corner of the bar, like, "Oh, hey, Brian."
Yeah, I mean that's where we found him last year too.
Probably
Drinking whiskey?
So I say to the bartender, he's like, "What do you need to drink?" I'm like, "You have anything dark?" And he goes, "We sold out a Guinness last night." I'm like, "Okay, how about?" I see Sam Adams. He goes, "I have it in a bottle, but I don't have it on tap."
We ate at that restaurant, right? We had like a beer or two before we left last year, and when it was like, well, we ate lunch there like around 1. And then around 6 or 7 before we left last year, me, Lou, and John played a little movie buff with Brian.
Yep.
While Brian ate, and then we had a beer or two. And that restaurant and bar was filled with gamers,
Yep.
and they were just eating and drinking everything.
Yep.
That place must love that weekend. Like, okay, so they got to deal with the loudness probably, but the cash has got to be flowing.
It's got to be nice. I know. I talked to Steve a little bit about the show and how things were going, and it seems like it's a good partnership up there right now. So things are going very well.
They must have other
everybody.
conventions throughout the year as well.
They
though.
do, yeah, they do.
They got to live for that stuff.
That area is like, it's just chock full of hotels, and there's a convention center right next to it,
which we went to accidentally last year.
And guess what?
They were there again?
They were there again. Yeah.
Motorcycle convention.
Oh, yeah?
So we waited in line for that one.
And tattoos?
It was a bunch of
yeah.
it was not a bunch of gamer looking dudes in line with us.
I'm standing in the line. I'm like, is
You
this the
gamer,
right
get
place?
the hell outta
You're
here.
this guy with his long forked beard. He goes, "Oh, you want the game convention? It's up there."
He looked so evil, but he was so polite. He looked like his name would be like fucking like
Lucifer.
Lucifer.
And
he goes, "You guys look for the game convention? It's at the other hotel up the road. You want to get on the back of my bike? I'll bring you there."
Oh, it's so funny too. They didn't have that tent thing set up though.
10th thing.
Remember, wasn't that tent thing outside? Wasn't that set up last year?
Yes, yeah.
This year they didn't have
Yeah.
that. But I don't know. It was a great time. I give TotalCon a lot of props. I need to write a review for the website. It's been on the burner for the entire week, just to get into the details of some of the things that I did, and because I ended up spending a lot more money than I expected buying games.
Yeah, you said you
Buying
bought Pocket
games,
Sub,
right?
right?
I bought Pocket Sub from Geek Fever from
Darren. Yep.
Darren signed it for me.
Cool.
I talked a couple guys into buying it too.
Me and Lou played that last year when it was just testing.
There's 2 versions.
I think he said that there was going to be 2 last year.
I bought the extended version.
deluxe
Yeah, the
version.
deluxe version. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's pretty cool. It's the same size. But then, of course, I bought the Transformers card game.
Yeah, you mentioned
Of course
that.
you did.
Yeah.
Deck builder, or what is it?
It's like a trading card game.
Okay.
So it's a collectible card game. I've wanted it since I heard about it. I just hadn't seen it anywhere.
Yeah.
I
You get
didn't-
all expansion sets and all that?
There's one right now. There's one coming out.
Yeah.
Now,
Or
did
it's due out now. I think it's out now. It's the combiner set, so you can get it like Bruticus and
Since it's
and
Transformers,
Constructicons.
I'm picturing, did you buy one to rock and one to stock? I picture you having one sealed.
No, I wouldn't
No.
seal them. They're big cards too. They're oversized cards, which is kind of cool. I just get them for the artwork.
I was going to say, if you ever
Are
play
you
the
going
game.
to play them? Or
I'm
is
going
it-
to play. Yeah, I do want to play the.
Oh, let's play it.
We'll check it out, yeah.
Check it out for sure.
It's funny too because I walk in. I had gone through and talked to a couple people in there, and I went in with Brian and one of his friends, Josh, and we go in, and I stop dead right at the doorway where there's a game store from Greenfield. And I look down and I see the starter deck for the Transformers game, and I'm like,
That's mine.
like I really want it, but I picked it up and looked at it, and the girl that's sitting at the table is like, "Oh, you want it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I do, but not today." And the guy that's standing with her goes, "I'll throw in a booster if you buy it right now." I'm like, "Done."
He played you like a harp.
Can't resist
yeah.
the booster.
I picture John had Megatron I had Optimus Prime over
Right,
one
on one
shoulder,
shoulder.
going, "Don't do it, John. Save your money for something better.
Oh god.
Save your money for something
beer.
more important, beer or food."
Yeah.
And then Megatron just leaned in and went, "You got the touch. You got the power."
I'm just a dork for the Transformers, but it's it's fairly cheap. It's $15 for the starter. So
Oh, that ain't
man.
bad. Yeah, come on, that's
it's not
nothing.
bad.
Yeah,
It's-
yeah,
it's
That's
not
only
bad.
2 beers.
And it's like I said, they're big cards, and it's put like the starter set is put into like a blister box, so it's you can see the art.
Through.
Yeah.
Right. So if you ever play this game with John and you notice the Optimus Prime card never comes up, just realize this. It's tucked into his pillowcase.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was a good time at TotalCon. I really enjoyed everybody I met and all the people that I normally see anyway. But the Fire Tower folks were there, and
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
they were there. Let's see.
Runaway Parade
Yep,
Games.
yep.
Check them out. Fire Tower, I think, is out now.
It's out. Yeah, they
Yeah.
had it for sale on the table,
Cool.
and it's a nice box. It really
That's
is.
cool.
They packaged it really really well. So it's smaller than your standard board game square, which makes it really nice for stores to stock and for people like us that want.
Did you
smaller-
have a review
smaller
copy
games.
for that or no?
We did not.
I don't think we ever did. No.
I remember
never
you
did.
talking about
We
it.
had them on the radio, and we played it several times
Yep.
at different
At the-
shows.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a fun game. It's
The Kickstarter went off and they fulfilled it. He was telling me about it too.
it was the week after our radio show, I think, right?
And the Kickstarter went off, but they just started like fulfilling orders for all the Kickstarter.
Okay.
And he was, I forget his name now.
I feel terrible to say
Yeah,
I forget his name
They're
too.
shitty. We're so terrible.
Yeah, great guy, great
Yeah,
guy, and
great
great girl.
guys.
Gwen was her name.
Gwen and damn it,
No, not damn it.
we're fucking
Yeah.
morons.
Runaway Parade Games. Check them out. They're super cool kids.
It's a great game.
Yeah.
Fire Tower is very vicious. What was he saying? So they went to fulfill the Kickstarter orders, and Canada got them before anybody else.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they actually went up. They were up in the Buffalo area, I guess, and they mailed the games to Canada from there.
Canadians are too nice for that game, though.
and it's so
that game is
funny.
all about setting fires to other people's fire towers.
Yeah.
Right.
I picture the Canadians being like, "Let's save it." No, don't do that, eh? Let's save the fire tower. Let's make a game called Water Tower, eh?
Yeah, we had a good time. We drank a lot, lots of gin.
Ugh, I fucking hate gin.
Oh, you just because you don't drink the right kind of gin. That's all.
No, it's good. Gin and tonics.
Not a fan.
Well, I didn't do gin. We were drinking it straight.
Just straight up.
Because these are the good gins. This isn't Tanqueray or
That's
this
the good
garbage.
Well, how did you put it a couple weeks ago when you had a couple beers here? You said that you had to get back your liver back into Gary Con shape.
Yeah, I did. I trust me. I can only. I'm getting beers from around the world at Gary Con. I mean, the guys are from across the seas are bringing them over. I'm hoping to have some Old Peculiar. I haven't had it in years.
I remember you mentioned that. At some
Oh,
point, yeah.
it's my favorite. Oh God,
Nice.
yeah, we're gonna have a beer party.
BIER over there. Beer.
Yeah.
And my aunt Crystal used to call it beer.
Yeah.
It is spelled properly. B-I-E-R.
Here, let's throw this out because I know it has nothing to do with necessarily with pop culture, but you mentioned your Aunt Crystal. Let's talk real quick because it's like interesting fact. Like people,
It's a curiosity.
It's a curiosity. People are going to go, shit, Sir John, huh?
Yeah.
So who recently passed away? That's well known that you are some form of related to, and how are you related to them?
Related by marriage, Karl Lagerfeld.
Carl Lagerfeld married your aunt, correct?
No.
No. Okay, I'm sorry.
They were brother and sister.
No.
Oh,
well, that's a whole nother
different
story.
my Aunt Crystal married my father's brother, and that's how they're related.
Okay.
Karl Lagerfeld, the fashion designer.
Fashion designer, yeah.
Fashion designer and curiosity.
So there's a little known fact about Sir John is that he was.
I'd never met the man, never spoke to him.
I couldn't picture him ever stepping foot into Portland, Connecticut.
He did.
Did he really?
Oh yeah, he did a few times.
Wow.
In his limo.
Oh, I
He
can
stepped
imagine.
wheel into it.
I was going to say I can imagine a limo going over the Portland Bridge and Portland just not knowing what to do.
It starts shaking.
Everybody's staring.
All the banjo strings start to fucking explode. Oh boy.
Yeah. That when he came, the last time he came, that I remember him coming anyway. Family members were making fun of him because he was drinking Perrier.
Oh, yeah.
Bottled water. Who drinks bottled water? But you
Karl
know,
Lagerfeld,
Karl
that
Lagerfeld.
bitch.
It was before
I
the bottled
hate
water
Perrier.
really hit.
I don't know if I ever had it.
It's horrible.
it's mineral water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not good.
All right. So Sir John's Adventures at TotalCon 33. Lloyd, what did we do last weekend on Saturday night?
Well, Sir John was at TotalCon. We were at
What the hell,
we
man?
were at Connecticut Cult Classics.
That's right.
Stephen King night number 2.
Number 2.
That's right, down in Seymour, Connecticut.
I keep
at the
missing
Strand
these things.
Theater.
Well, April 20th is the next one. So if anybody wants to check it out, get their tickets now. Go to www.connecticutcultclassics.com. And it is the title of the night is 1-2 Freddy's Coming for You.
Yeah.
And perfectly fitting, it's Nightmare on Elm Street and then Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2.
3, 4, Freddy's coming through your door.
And we're going to also put out our episode, our Pint Movie Invitational of us with Larry Dwyer talking about Nightmare on Elm Street 2. Kind of close
Around
to that
that
area.
time.
Around that area.
Oh, God.
So maybe people can double
That's
dip on
right.
That works.
it. So what did you think of the evening? What did you?
Oh, it's always a great time down there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. I brought my cousin Gary.
Yeah, I brought my wife Lindsay.
And you brought Lindsay.
Yep.
Yeah. We met up at Five Guys,
That's right. We
which
crushed
is
some
a
burgers.
tradition for the Plano
Yeah.
Comics.
That's right. Got to crush some bees.
Didn't go to Jimmy's.
No. Well, no.
We did.
You did. I did
Yeah,
not.
and-
You bring Gary over there?
Well, listen to this. I will say this. I don't think I'm in any risk of getting Gary in trouble. He was having a little issue that night.
Okay.
Little home issue.
Okay.
And yeah, he needed to get out, and he said, I need to have a beer and a shot.
Well, that's the place to do it.
Actually, a shot and a beer. And so I said, well, we're going to go to Jimmy's. So
love
after
The Regal Beagle of Seymour, Connecticut.
It is
Yeah, the Regal Beagle.
It's like a time warp.
And
I love that
while
place.
we were in there drinking our shot of Jameson and a Ballantine ale, I guess,
Oh, God.
there was a guy in front of us sitting at the bar and some other guy, and he was pissing the one guy off, and they had a little bit of words, and the one guy got up and left.
Wow, you were there for a Seymour bar fight.
Yeah, it was all of like 5 minutes, maybe.
I love the sign over the door. You must wear slacks.
Yeah, yeah. We
That
had.
place
Well, I
is
took
rad.
mine off.
Love that
Yeah. So
place.
we saw Maximum Overdrive
Yep.
and Carrie.
Carrie, yeah.
Yeah, Carrie is so good.
I
I love that movie.
So Maximum Overdrive was a movie that I had seen as a kid. Didn't like then. Not good now.
It's not
You
good.
know what I loved about Maximum Overdrive?
Cocaine.
It had AC/DC music.
Oh,
yeah.
It was really
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I had totally forgotten about that.
There were some moments in it. Well, what the thing about that was I didn't realize that was also in the movie. So,
Oh, yeah.
So Who Made Who is the
yeah.
theme song,
Yeah.
and then the crazy waitress,
Yeah, the lady.
keeps having these freakouts where she just keeps screaming.
made
We
you!"
made you. I want to sit down now. Stephen King.
Who was the actress that did that? That's,
I don't know.
I
her
don't
name.
know. The only people I
I'm
recognized in that movie were Emilio Estevez, Pat Hingle,
Oh, yeah, Pat
who
Hingle.
played the Bubba, the
Oh yeah.
the owner of the Dixie Boy, the guy who played truck driver. He played Barney in the Silence of the Lambs and
Yep.
Hannibal. He's like a character actor.
And
Yardley Smith.
and Yardley Smith who does
Who
voice
Yardley
of-
Smith, who screams for the
Lisa.
whole fucking movie in that
Oh my
Lisa
God.
Simpson voice. Oh man,
that's her voice.
Yeah, I know, but it's so bad.
jeez.
Don't you do that?
Right.
I'm not gonna even try. She's screaming the whole time. So we made you. The rules of the Maximum Overdrive universe
Oh, God.
are so uneven
Oh, yeah,
and
they're awful.
fluid. So
Yeah, they're very loose
it
rules.
seems that like
Wanda June.
Wanda June, it seems that the cars don't come to life.
right. And the one car, I don't
The
remember
one
any
car
other
that drove
cars.
into the truck into the with the pizza guy,
Right.
okay, seems to have.
Yep.
But like lawnmowers come to life, soda machines come to life,
Right.
the bridge comes to
Oh,
life.
Frankie
turret.
Faison.
Frankie Faison, yeah.
And J.C. Quinn, who played Duncan, that guy was in like every 70s TV show ever.
There was another guy, I can't remember. Leon Rippey is in it. Leon Rippey.
Yeah, Leon Rippey,
He's
yeah.
been in a million things.
Yeah.
He's the guy. He's the last guy to die. He's the guy that takes the ring off the girl's hand and then gets run over by the Green Goblin truck.
His picture in here is awful.
He's a weird looking dude. He
Oh,
was
yeah,
on
I mean,
Deadwood.
He's old.
Yeah, he was in Deadwood.
Yeah.
The rules are so weird in that movie. Like, and Stephen King
Every
has admitted.
truck was possessed except
Right.
for the car that Yardley Smith and her husband drove.
No
No problem at all.
No problem at all.
They had full control of that.
Stephen King has freely admitted that he was totally on cocaine.
He's on
the whole
cocaine,
time.
yeah.
There's some really good articles about the filming of this, if you can find it. I'll see if I can find it.
I would love to read it.
Share it on our page, because there's a really good one about the details of the hiring of the cast.
Okay.
And when they got there. And
it's a Dino De Laurentiis movie.
Yeah.
And apparently De Laurentiis loves Stephen King.
Yeah.
And just let him do what he wanted to do. And Stephen King, I did read something about it where he's like, I went to set every day and had no clue what I was doing. And he goes, and it shows, because one of the things about that movie that's like kind of the funniest is that at the beginning they played it, and I'm sure it's not played before the movie normally, but it must be from the DVD or something. It's Stephen King's like little introduction.
Yeah.
And he says, and I'm going to scare the hell out of you. And this is the least scary Stephen King. Now, the situation in real life, if all the machines in the world came to life, started killing people, would be scary. There's nothing scary in that fucking movie.
Not in the movie, no. No. The scariest thing was the Bible salesman, the shyster there, and he gets knocked across into the gutter.
J.C. Quinn appeared in over 50 movies before he was killed in a car wreck, but he was on like Cagney and Lacey, Miami Vice, Quantum Leap.
Yeah, because there was like 4 or 5 guys that were in the place, like truckers.
Yeah,
that just had these kind of, half of them got blown away when the machine gun went off, and
he was in Chud. Oh shit!
Cannibalistic humanoid underground dwellers.
Heartbreak Ridge.
Oh, that was a good one. That was Clint Eastwood. So we get through Maximum Overdrive, and honestly, not a good movie. Some great trailers. One of my favorites was for a Rudy Ray Moore movie I'd never heard of called. The name of the movie is great, but then the subtitle's even better. Petey Wheatstraw.
Oh, Petey Wheatstraw, yeah.
The son-in-law of the devil.
Son-in-law.
Bissett was just talking about that. I think he's going to do a screening of it somewhere or something like that.
He plays it looks like a pimp that is fighting super. I don't know.
Yeah,
but
that was the best
pretty
one,
crazy. That was the best one of the night. Yeah, there was a couple others. There was.
You gotta love Rudy Ray Moore. It's just weird stuff. Yeah, man.
And they had a really good, I guess like a fan film of the Saw franchise.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Working with Jigsaw. Where it's an office environment, and he keeps on like doing his little game. We're gonna play a game. Yeah. It's like
he
not
pops
right
up
now.
over the cubicle. He sees the girl. Yeah, we're gonna play a game.
I just infected your computer with a porno virus.
Wow.
And she's like, I want to go home like, early. I want to go home early today, Jigsaw. And he's like, it's just ridiculous.
I love what his boss had him in the room.
I laughed so fucking hard at that.
That was good.
I watched it again on Monday. I found it on YouTube. His boss has him in the room, and the HR guy's there, and they're telling him, you've got to stop with these games. And the whole time they're talking to him, he's just going, yep.
He's sitting there. You picture his legs crossed. I see your point.
And then after they get through everything, he goes, you're all chained together at the ankles. And they look down, they're all chained together, and they're like, this is exactly what we're talking about. That was funny. So then Carrie starts, and I'm going to admit, I've never fully seen Carrie before.
Oh, that's sad.
Did you forget William Catt was in it?
No, I knew Cat was in it. I knew Travolta was in it.
He's so dreamy.
He is dreamy in that. And I had never
hair.
really watched the whole movie before. And I got to say, that's a fucking good movie.
Yeah, I think I turned around to you. I said,
up.
This movie is so fucking creepy. That's why it made my top 5 horror list.
It's super creepy.
Who played her mom?
Piper
Laurie.
Yeah.
That's the part to me that was the creepiest part. Anything
She is off
in that
the
house,
rails,
you just picture this girl and living with this woman.
I did say to you during the movie, and I was reading about Carrie this week, and I guess it was a point of contention when the movie came out, was Sissy Spacek was way too cute to play that role.
Yeah.
She's really good looking, and it's hard to believe that people would be that mean to her.
There are times when they ugly her up.
Yeah.
But I guess
she's very beautiful.
Well, they straighten her hair. It's always like this stringy, Nancy hair.
but
It's just kind of pale.
I guess
which is why
the book was supposed to be very like pimply and kind of overweight and stuff. But man, having never seen that movie before, you feel for her from the beginning.
Sure.
Besides, and you don't even know her mother's a nut job yet. The
Right.
whole first scene where she has her period, doesn't know what's happening.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I
Girls are throwing tampons at her, yelling, plug it up, plug it up. She's running around with her hands bloody.
So knowing what Carrie's about, I know how the movie ends. I couldn't wait for her to do that to everybody.
Yeah.
Like everybody in that movie, I could not wait for her to fucking decimate them. And the one thing I was super surprised about was that I always thought that was the final scene of the movie. Was in the prom.
Oh no!
I thought she died there. I thought that. So then you get that whole next bit where she goes home and fucking and flays the mom and then buries the house.
Well, the mom stabs her first.
Mom stabs her in the back. That's right. Yeah.
You see that coming, you're like, no.
Yeah.
I
honestly,
really good movie.
I haven't read the book in years.
I've never read the book.
The book it's a little bit different.
It's a little different. I mean, there's a lot of excerpts from like newspaper articles and things like that that Carrie reads up on, so she can understand what she is going through.
She does go. She does go to the library at one point and look up telekinesis. And I like the fact that she knew too. Like she was. Right. She's this mousy girl, but she's not stupid.
Right.
Because when the mother is talking to her about how she's like, like you're a devil, she's like, no, people can do this.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm not the only one either.
Yeah.
But I love those scenes where she like actually, there was a couple scenes where she didn't know what she was doing when she was making the ashtray shake. But then the scenes where she started like when the mother was giving her shit and she's like slamming doors, controlling it. That was a really good movie. There was that one scene too where they're dancing though, where the camera was
going around. You get dizzy.
I was actually getting a little like fucking like weird in my stomach, like that one shot.
I mean, that was intended to make you feel very bad and awkward and disgusted and everything.
Yeah,
I need a beer. Keep talking.
Oh, okay, yeah. So,
and then when she comes home, right, and then the mother starts saying, "Oh, when he put it in me, I should have stopped it. I gave in to the sin."
Yeah.
And
the
I
way
think
the
at one
mother
point,
was
doesn't she
dressed.
say, "I should have killed you"?
She did.
Yeah. It's such fucking horror.
And the way the mother was like there was that whole scene where when she comes home, she goes up to her room and the mother's standing behind the door.
Yeah. Oh,
she's so fucking creepy.
Yep.
And I was reading an article online about the making of the movie. Piper Laurie, I guess Brian De Palma, the director, had to keep on telling her she played it like it was a black comedy. Because she felt like there's no way this could be a real person.
Right. Yep.
Like there's nobody this insane. So she kind of felt like this movie must be like a black comedy.
Well, the insanity came out. However she played it, it worked really well.
And then, so here's something I didn't know about this movie at all, is I looked it up, is the woman who played the gym teacher is Betty Buckley.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Betty Buckley at this point now is like 75, and I've seen her and stuff, and she,
Guest of Billy Johnstone
That's
on
right.
the Broadway Music Hour.
Yeah, Broadway Radio Hour and WSU-FM.
And she was really sympathetic towards Carrie. She had that moment in the shower, like when Carrie's going crazy and she slaps her and shakes her.
Oh, she had to knock her back into like her.
Right.
But then, then Carrie accidentally kills her, or at least hurts her really badly. Man, that was a pretty complex movie in terms of like they should give that to kids at the age where you're wondering if they're going to be a bully or not, and say, who do you feel for in this?
Right.
Like, because I'll tell you, RoboCop's partner there.
Nancy Allen.
She's a fucking shit stain in that movie, man.
Yeah.
And I couldn't tell.
And when John Travolta's in the car with her and she's calling you stupid shit.
Slaps him.
She must have got slapped, I don't know, a half dozen times in that movie.
Yes. Oh, she got knocked around. The gym teacher hits her.
Yeah.
Travolta slaps her a few times.
Multiple times.
And this movie has no idea, by the way. I don't know if it was the screenwriter or De Palma, but they don't know. Why you gotta slap me?
I told you not to slap me.
Oh, don't touch my hand, Dad. No, it's the scene where Nancy Allen is giving John Travolta a blowjob.
Yeah.
They don't know how blowjobs work.
Yeah.
Because
you can't talk when you're doing that.
She's talking in perfect English. She's sucking his dick and going, okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to go kill some pigs and get the blood.
Right.
I'm like, shouldn't it? No.
Perfect diction.
Yeah, perfect diction while having a dick in your mouth.
She's just doing the ball fondling. That's all it is.
Yeah.
Carrie doesn't know how blowjobs work. So,
and a major difference in the book, going back to the scene with Carrie and her mother in the end.
Yep.
You know how the knives all go through and they pin her to the wall, in a crucifixion pose. Yeah, that didn't happen in the book. In the book, it's been years since I read this book, but I believe she stopped her heart from beating. That's how she killed her mother in the book.
Okay.
Yeah, she stopped
when I was reading, I think I was on IMDb, I was reading the trivia section, because one of the things I said to you was, inside her prayer closet, there was what I thought was Jesus with a bunch of arrows in him. And I'm like,
yeah, that was weird.
It's not Jesus. It's another religious icon. It's
is
a
that
saint.
who it was?
Oh, it's
a
Saint. Oh shit.
Okay.
Yeah, because I'm like, pretty sure he got stabbed with a spear,
Yeah,
but I don't remember like 6 arrows.
No,
in that
that's
guy.
oh shit, not Saint Stephen.
I have to read that book again. It's just been so long. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong.
Why don't you read it and come back and do a review on it?
Yeah,
Saint
all right.
Sebastian?
Maybe.
No, it's not Saint Sebastian. Oh fuck, my religious memory is shot.
Well, I'll look it up. We'll talk
It's
about
Saint
it again.
Geronimo, I think.
No, it's not Saint. No, he
No, it's
the hand of Saint Sebastian. Oh, fuck it, I don't know.
patron saint of lost bow and arrow
He
fights?
was, he got killed by a bunch of arrows. So,
Okay.
and that's how that works.
Yeah, because we're watching the movie and I'm like, I don't remember anything about Jesus getting fucking shot up with arrows.
The fucking saints, I just can't remember them all because I was raised in a Lutheran church. We didn't really follow the saints.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You're completely oblivious to all that.
No,
Yeah, you're lucky.
My parents went to Catholic schools, and the one thing they did that was super awesome for me was they said, "We're not doing that to you."
Yeah.
So I didn't have to do any of that stuff.
I think it is Saint Sebastian, but
And
I'm not looking that
the
up.
raffle thing was pretty cool too. Our friend Ryan LeMay, is that his
Ryan
name?
LeMay, yeah,
he came and brought some stuff from his personal collection.
Yeah,
Cool.
he's a big, he's a huge Stephen King
Yeah,
fan.
I think a friend of his won it, or some.
Yeah, somebody who was one
was
of
with
it.
him.
Well, much like Tony. Tony's won my raffle shit.
He
like
actually
twice.
won. No, he won it actually.
Oh, did he?
It was his ticket that won that raffle that he brought.
No Silent
and so
Tony?
they gave it to somebody else. And
Tony was there, but Tony's got a lady now, so
Yeah.
he's
Yeah.
kind of he's there with us, but he's kind of there in his own thing. That's cool. That's cool. No, we had a good time. Larry Dwyer had on a polo shirt, and I thought, wow, that's kind of weird for Larry to look like a little bit, a little more dapper than the T-shirt. And then when you get closer,
so you
realize
see the logo.
it's a Hello Kitty shirt, but it's a Hello Kitty human centipede. So I want to thank too. I want to throw this out. We had gotten a. If you go to Instagram, go to 13th, the number 13th Street Nostalgia, and it's a guy who does a bunch of like different horror novelties, and he does videotapes, actual videotapes, and he puts LED lights in them. He makes it into like a nightlight kind of thing with there's all different colors. He sent us one. We raffled it off. Someone won it. The guy loved it. The guy's name was Neil. I met him. He was very nice. And it was actually, John would have loved it. It was a copy of Phantasm.
Yeah.
The original
cool.
It's an original Phantasm VHS. It was the cover was all shitty and everything, and but it was very cool. I want to say thank you to that. But that was that boy. That was our night at the CT Cult Classics.
That was both John and my number one horror movie.
Yes, it was. Yeah, I think mine was Jaws, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Check that episode out. It was I don't know, a year,
I don't know what
year and a half ago, October of 17 probably.
Yeah, that's right.
So, all right, we've been talking about a lot of stuff here. Let's get into a little bit of TV. And we have all seen the first episode of the newest show on the, yet again, I will say it wrong, DC Extended Universe. What is that thing called?
I thought it was like
DC Universe?
Yeah,
DC Universe?
Yeah.
Streaming.
The streaming service,
Yeah.
right? So they did Titans, and now they've moved on to Doom Patrol,
which was introduced in Titans.
which was introduced in Titans. That's right, in like the fourth or fifth episode.
Explain.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
you didn't watch Titans?
No.
It was exceptionally good.
So on
I
Titans,
still gotta catch up.
Beast Boy or I don't know. Do they call him Beast Boy and Titans or
They haven't called him anything other than Gar.
Gar.
So
Gar Logan in the comics was a member of Doom Patrol.
yeah.
And then he ended up going and being a member of the Teen Titans.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in Teen Titans, they find him and meet him, and there's an episode where he takes Raven back to the professor, not professor. I'm thinking of fucking the Niles Calder's mansion. And that's where you meet those characters the first time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now
Are
you
they
don't
all the same characters, like actors?
No.
Wow, on the same streaming service.
They're
Jinx,
all,
buy me a beer.
They're all the same. Rita is the same. And all the actors are the same. Rita.
No.
Oh, really?
No.
The voice wasn't
They
Matthew Bomer?
they did the voiceovers, yes, but
Okay.
the actors, the roles when they cast them for the Titans were all different except for Rita.
Okay.
Okay.
So, which is really funny. But so when the show came out and they had already recast for the new Doom Patrol show, they had dubbed in the voices of Matt Bomer and
Brendan Fraser.
Brendan Fraser,
Right.
which I thought was really funny because the chief is different completely.
The chief is the main. The chief was I don't know his name, but he was like a Mexican actor.
So not Timothy Dalton.
Not Timothy Dalton.
No, when they recast, it was like they completely recast except for
Yeah.
Rita, who was great.
She was
Yeah,
good.
April
Yeah.
But the thing
Bowlby.
is,
Really
the
good.
thing is, the show. Since you saw the Doom Patrol episode, not seeing the Titans episode,
Doesn't
you didn't
matter.
miss anything.
Okay.
No.
you
No,
missed
no, no.
nothing. So
No, it was kind of like a little introduction to the characters, but like the origin stuff that they gave you in Doom Patrol
Yeah.
was much more important.
I'll be honest with you. I thought the Doom Patrol episode of Titans was one of the weakest of the show. Yeah.
I thought it was fun, but I didn't think it was super important.
No, it wasn't super important, and I just thought it was weak overall. So
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just me.
So Lloyd,
Getting back to Doom Patrol.
Yeah.
I have no knowledge of Doom Patrol.
Okay.
I own one Grant Morrison, I don't know, omnibus. It's a pretty thick book. I haven't read any of it.
They collected that and not the previous issues, which reintroduced the characters. Yeah.
But my impression is I loved it. I thought it was a great show. I love the characters. I love the actors playing the characters. There's nothing. I don't think I have a single complaint.
It's definitely cast very well. Yes.
Yeah. I love the
have to admit.
Alan Tudyk narration.
The narration was super important.
Yeah. And it was meta at times. They're like, they're
not.
Critics aren't even going to like this show.
That was great.
Which is kind of how the character operates. So being meta like that is who Mr. Nobody is. So
I guess I'm jumping way ahead. And I don't know that they explain this, but the narrator, is he the character that showed up in the van at the very end?
That's Mr. Nobody.
That's the same person?
Yeah, when you see him he's narrating his own story at the same time.
Yeah, okay. So, that's what I got out of it. Yeah. But I didn't think it was super clear that that's what it was.
Those of you that are listening to this and haven't seen the Doom Patrol episode, and we're gonna spoil it.
Yeah, yeah. If you want to watch it, then just jump away.
Wait a minute. Let's thumb left. Warning, spoilers ahead.
Yeah, super spoilers coming up.
We're just gonna talk about this thing to the end of the episode.
So I have a personal opinion that any show that begins basically with Brendan Fraser humping his maid and yelling at, what was he saying there?
Bare ass.
Yeah,
he was saying, "Who's the fox? Who's the fox?
Who's the fox?
Who's the fox?" And then also uses fox on the run.
Fox on the run.
Yeah, right.
What?
That was so good.
All right, so I'm a big Doom Patrol fan. I have been for many, many, many years. In the Titans episode, when you see Rita, it's pretty much clear at that point that she's been around for a long period of time.
Yeah.
So what I liked about the introduction of the characters in this series, they're all from different eras. So it's not just like a modernization of the Doom Patrol. They completely shifted them all from different eras of time. So Rita's been around since the 50s or 40s even, I think, late 40s. Larry, Negative Man, is from the 60s. And then you've got Cliff, who's from the 80s.
Right.
And this comic book that they're based on was all from the mid to late 60s. So.
Right. But those three characters were the original.
Those are the three original
members.
Plus Niles Calder.
Right, okay.
The Chief.
The Chief, yeah, that's right. Not the Professor. Again, we've mentioned it on a show that hasn't come out yet, where we won't get too far into that with Mark Mastel, where, it's kind of been very heavily, I guess, thought of that the X-Men are totally ripped off of the Doom Patrol.
It's been said for many, many years that's how that works. But I never really paid much attention to that. I don't really care. But when that episode comes out, there's a lot of stuff that Mark and I both agree on about the Doom Patrol being such a formative group at the time.
You guys talked so highly about it that I found the omnibus for the entire original series.
I
bought it.
Yeah, I have.
I need to get that.
I have the collected volumes of Doom Patrol when they were doing the old DC trade dress stuff.
Yes,
I still have those. I think they're still sealed in plastic because I never got around to reading them.
But you've already read it all, though.
Not all of it. Not some of the early stuff because their costumes early on were ugly green.
Oh, really?
Yeah, very ugly green color. And eventually they changed to the red with the white stripe. At least for Rita and Larry.
we won't switch subjects, but Lloyd and I were at a not so great comic show earlier in this week, and I was going through some of like the like $5 books, and I found one with on the cover Animal Vegetable Man. I'm looking at him going, we were just talking about this on an episode. I'd never heard of this character, and now I'm finding a cover with this weird half human, half like animal, and like he's got like a fucking rock on his head. He looks like a gem.
AVM Man.
Yeah. So I particularly like that show a lot. I was extremely amused by it. Again, so John knows all about the Doom Patrols, read all about them. You knew almost nothing about them.
Right,
I know about them, but I've never really read anything about them. So I'm familiar with Robot Man. I'm familiar with the the whole idea of it, but I've never read any of the stuff myself, unless they've shown up in stuff incidentally. TV show alone, not worrying about the comic.
Yep.
The way that they took the three main characters in terms of Cliff Steele, Larry Trainer, and Rita Farr, and gave you their origins in these kind of like really well done quick bursts.
Yeah.
It kind of, Larry and Rita are kind of secondary, Cliff story is the
it's
one that
mostly
wraps it all around.
Yeah, and the Cliff story, because it kind of misleads you a little, or it
Yes.
makes you think one thing, but then
Yeah.
it hits you with something else later.
And you know what? I'm going to say it. We've talked about it on the show, and again, I'll say it again. It's damn good to see Brendan Fraser doing something.
Oh,
again.
sure.
Now,
sure.
You know?
is his weight makeup, or did
No,
he gain weight?
he's gained weight.
Okay.
He's gained weight. He's old. I mean, that's the thing. You got to think the Mummy's 20 years old, man.
Yeah.
You need to read that article that was in GQ, the interview that he did, where
Okay.
he explains why he kind of left Hollywood for a while and what happened with the sexual harassment thing that happened
Yeah.
with him.
Oh.
Where he accused somebody of
He's a
sexual.
victim.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's a
okay,
victim.
I wasn't aware of that.
Oh, yeah.
He's a victim.
Yeah, he's a character. I'd love to meet the guy. at some point, you know.
He's super cool. I've always
Yeah.
liked him.
He was,
yeah.
you know, he went through a divorce, and which was another problem. So,
Yeah.
you know, that kind of stuff happens. So,
Yeah, it's too bad. Not everybody could be like a movie star forever.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been nice if we'd gotten more Brendan Fraser throughout the last couple of years because
Yeah.
he really kind of disappeared.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, part
You know,
of it was the
Encino Man.
injuries.
I tell you, I always talk about it. One of my favorites with him is Blast from the Past
Yeah, that's a good movie.
with Walken and Alicia Silverstone, where
Yeah.
he plays the guy that grew up in the bomb shelter. You ever see that?
I don't think I saw that.
He's a kid who grows up in a bomb shelter till he's like 25 or 30. And his parents have Sissy Spacek is his mother, actually.
Yeah, actually.
And Christopher Walken's his dad. They've
Nice
convinced
tie
him.
in there, yeah.
They've convinced him that the world got nuked, and he's raised in a bomb shelter from like birth to like 25, and he's very. He's
They're like 50s
This
parents.
sounds good. I gotta see this.
He's like Beaver Cleaver.
he's like Beaver Cleaver.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
He ends up leaving because I think he determines they lied to him. He leaves, and one of the first scenes is he's walking down the street, and there's a male woman walking by him, and she's black, and he goes, "Oh my, you're a Negro," and it's just, and she's just looking at him, and it's just this fish out of water thing,
Yeah.
and then he meets Alicia Silver. It might sound like this can't be. It's a good fucking
It's
movie.
fun. It really,
I'm gonna check it out.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It's one of those little films.
Yeah.
You know,
It was probably right before or right after The Mummy. It
was before. I
Right
think it was
before The
before.
Mummy, because
Yeah.
The Mummy really
that's what
that's
skyrocketed
him, and then you had a couple things there. But
If you haven't seen it, I want to throw this in here. Gods and Monsters. See that.
I've never seen it, and
Oh,
I want to
it's
watch
so
it
good.
to do the Scary Larry thing.
Yes.
I kind of want to see it. It's about the making of Frankenstein. Or
Well, it's about the director.
The director
of
who made Frankenstein,
yeah,
right.
James Whale. It's about him, and it's just well cast. I remember I actually watched the Academy Awards the year that one was put up for like best script or screenplay, whatever, and it didn't get it, which is too bad.
That's Ian McKellen.
It was
right?
Ian McKellen as James Whale. It was no, I can't.
Saint Sebastian.
No, Saint Stephen. Juliette
Moore.
No, not Juliette Moore. Did you get hard?
Julianne Moore.
Julianne Moore.
Maybe her.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant to say.
Sound of Music.
Oh, Julie Andrews.
Julie Andrews.
Yeah,
Julie
yeah.
Andrews is in this movie too. So
Wait a minute, I just got hard.
Oh,
Is that okay?
okay.
All right.
Moving on.
All right. So, John, since
Yes.
you are okay, I think I'll ask Lloyd, and then I'll go to John.
Okay.
Okay. So we got rookie and we got expert.
Yeah.
What did you like particularly about this show? What did it get right for you in terms of just being someone that's never heard of the Doom Patrol and just watching it?
I loved, like you said before, the introduction of the characters. It all kind of seemed seamless the way they did it. I really loved the narration. That was just really cool.
Alan Tudyk has got a great voice too.
I didn't even realize it was Alan Tudyk at first.
I didn't know for a long time either.
Yeah.
I think you told me, John.
I don't know. I don't know if I did.
Somebody on our message groups mentioned it that Tudyk was in the show, and I was like, "What the hell?"
You didn't realize it was him when they even had him on the screen?
No, I did.
Okay.
I did. I knew that before then, but
Okay.
but it was a real surprise that he got cast, and I didn't even hear anything about it, and so that was kind of cool.
And the Timothy Dalton character.
The chief.
Yeah, he's great.
I'm going to be leaving for a few days.
And I want to know more about the mystery behind everything. Like what's the common link?
Right.
You know, what's going on? What did this guy fly into in the sky? What possessed him? What possessed the lady under the water? Is there other links with other characters that I don't know?
So you're looking to see if this is like random,
Yeah.
or if this is okay. I get it. So John, as someone that's read the book for many, many years and loves the book, I guess what did you like? What did they do right for you? And maybe was there stuff in it that you were a little disappointed in, or were you okay enough to just say, I'm going to divorce it from the book and enjoy this.
I'll just put this right out there. The only disappointing thing in the show is the look of Robot Man. Is the physical look of Cliff Steele. It's very clunky.
He's had lots of different looks, right? Like in the comics.
Generally, it's very similar. But there was we'll get into that.
All right.
But yeah, they're trying to make it look as much like the Grant Morrison stuff as they possibly can. That's where that particular look came in, where he's a little heavier and he's wearing clothes. I mean, in the old original Doom Patrol series, he didn't wear clothes.
Right.
You know, he's a robot.
A robot.
He had the jockey shorts though on his painted on his robot body, which I always thought was funny.
Shorts on the outside.
Yeah,
just like Superman.
So the look of him is a little weird. It's growing on me, and a lot of it has to do with Brendan Fraser's voiceover work and his ability in that.
Because he's not the actor that plays Robot Man. He plays Cliff Steele, but it's a different actor who plays.
Yeah,
Robot
it's a different
Man.
actor.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they put him in the suit.
No, it has 2 credits and also Bomer's not in the bandages.
Oh no shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that either.
No, it's 2 different guys.
I wonder if it's the same. It's the people from the Titans episode.
It might be. It might be. It's not. Yeah, Brendan Fraser. I bet you. I would almost guess that you're not going to see a lot of Brendan Fraser anymore. Maybe in flashbacks here and there.
I could have sworn that there was a picture of him in the suit with the helmet off, or like the faceplate off, and it was Brendan Fraser wearing it.
I'm sure they've probably done shots like that.
Well, there'd be no reason to because he's just a brain.
Right, that's true.
No. I mean, publicity still.
Oh,
that's
I saw one of the ones of the guy. I can't remember his name, but it's a different actor.
All right, well, whatever.
But it's cool. I mean, it's still
fine. I don't care.
Still a voiceover, you know.
Yeah.
But I do think you were right. I do think I read that the people that physically played them in the Titans episode were not the same.
We're not.
I believe
because they didn't cast these guys until because they didn't even have the Doom Patrol series lined up at that point.
Right.
I think they were still working on it, but they knew they were going to do one, which is weird. But anyway,
so you didn't really care for the. But what
I didn't care for that. But everything that they did right was the introduction of the characters. I really liked the adaptation of the characters. So they're not exact from the comics, and that's okay because I don't want exact adaptations
it's not the comic,
every single time. And like I said before, I like how they're from all different time periods, so they're basically ageless and yet still from an earlier time period. I like that a lot. I really do. It allows for a lot of really cool storytelling. So I'm good with that. The actors are really well done. I mean, Matt Bomer. You didn't watch it, right? White Collar?
No, but I've seen bits of it.
He's a good-looking guy.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's a very good-looking guy. And Brian and I had a discussion about this at TotalCon, actually, whether or not he's actually gay.
Oh, he's gay?
Which character is that?
That's Larry.
Oh, Larry.
So is he gay or is he maybe more than gay?
Well, what does that mean?
More than gay.
Well, he has a family.
Oh, he's married to a guy.
No. He had the woman with the children.
Larry.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought you meant Matt Bomer.
No. Oh. I'm talking about the character, not Matt Bomer.
Okay. All right.
Matt Bomer's gay?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, I never knew that.
Yeah. He's married to a guy. Yeah.
Well,
Matt Bomer
that explains his very passionate man kiss.
Oh yeah. Well, that was part of the thing that I wondered if
I
that
never
was.
knew that.
Yeah. When
Not
I saw,
that there's anything wrong with
Yeah,
that.
really.
No, when I saw that they had made
Stuff I need to know.
he's got I
don't need to know this.
My opinion, again, not knowing where it's going to go, is that he's gay. He's got the family, but it's a beard. I mean, it's the 60s.
Well, that's the thing. It's the 60s, and that's fine. But here's the thing. It is a problem I have with it because they're trying to merge two characters together ahead of time.
Okay.
So in the Grant Morrison book, so you guys haven't read it yet.
No.
All right. So in the Grant Morrison book, Larry Traynor. No, well, first off, he's dead until Paul Kupperberg brings him back in the early part of the series before Morrison takes over the title. So Larry Traynor is alive again after being killed off by Madame Rouge and General Mortis back in the late 60s. And Robot Man had been running around as a newer version of Robot Man with different Doom Patrol characters who are all in this new series as well. New series as in 1988, but
30 years old.
Yeah, really. What Morrison did was rework the character into no longer being Negative Man, but being a character called Rebus, which is the physical appearance you're seeing in the show right now. So the jacket he's wearing,
right?
It's like this fur-lined thing. It's more of a female look because in the comic book he becomes a hermaphrodite, essentially.
Okay.
This all sounds very Morrison-y.
Yeah.
Basically, Larry merges with a female. So it's like, so there's a man and a woman jammed into one body with the negative being in charge of the body. It's really weird. They never really get into it. Somewhere after those series, because there's a series of Doom Patrol books, Rebus gets split and becomes Larry Trainor's Negative Man again.
Fuck, you just blew my mind.
It's a long.
I'm gonna wait before I read this until the TV show is over. I can't confuse the two.
The problem I'm having is that they're trying to jam too much of the Morrison stuff into the show already.
All right,
because you have Crazy Jane jammed in there as well.
Well, how did you like her?
Not really.
No?
They didn't depict her well enough. It's like instead of the...
I'm sure we'll get more of her.
There's 64 personalities, but it's not enough Jane. It's all these other personalities coming out. See, in the book, it's a little different. The personalities come out when she wants them to, as opposed to them just appearing and start... You don't know who's talking at any given point in the show, and I'm not...
Is Hammerhead actually a character?
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I didn't know if that was... Every character, or every personality has a different superpower.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool...
That's good.
That's pretty cool. I like the actress is cute who plays her, and
She's okay.
I liked... I knew I recognized her. I had to look it up because Lindsay watches Orange is the New Black. She was one of the inmates on that for a while. I liked
the actress that plays Jane?
Yes.
Really?
I liked the fact that they kind of made her and Cliff Steele... You kind of feel like there's going to be a friendship between them.
Wait till you read the Morrison stuff.
Oh.
It's all there.
Do they start getting it on?
No.
Does he have a robot dick?
No. No, there is a very strong connection between the two characters, and it carries over long past Morrison's run. So
okay. All right. I enjoyed the show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to the next episode.
Which is out, but
yeah,
the donkey.
Yeah,
the donkey fart was.
That
seemed very Morrison-y.
That's very Morrison-y.
Yeah.
I really liked, even though it kind of reminded me of like shitty '90s like special effects, the Mr. Nobody kind of ribbony look.
Yeah, I liked that.
I liked it. It was a lawnmower man for me. You know what I mean? Like it didn't necessarily look great, but it was cool.
Well, wasn't that the opening scene?
No.
And he like tore apart.
Well, yeah, he's in that machine that does that to him. But then
it was a sort of reminiscent of
when he pops up in the end, and he's kind of just like he's got these like gaps in his physical being.
I was wondering how they were going to depict him because he's not quite human in the comics. So they did an interesting interpretation and allowed Alan Tudyk to be the character.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Because I wasn't sure when I heard Tudyk was going to be in it, and he shows up in that prologue. Yeah. I assumed he was going to be a voice.
Yeah,
it's kind of. I mean, he technically is a voice, but it's still him.
It's still him. Yeah,
you know,
it's a lot of green screen work.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's probably wearing a ton of fucking ping pong balls.
This is one of the things I really liked about the show, though. There was a drop in the hat line of how these are the people that are at the mansion. But there are others that come and go. Basically, an open door to all the Doom Patrol characters that have ever appeared at any given point.
Now, does it seem weird to you, though? Which this seems weird to me, and I'm still going to enjoy it. But so you have all these characters from the Doom Patrol, mythology, and the next one that's going to show up is Cyborg.
I'm okay with it. I'm really hoping for a decent depiction of Cyborg because the one from... Because Cyborg first appeared in the Titans, New Teen Titans.
He was never a Doom Patrol member.
No, he was never a Doom Patrol member. But because Gar Logan, Beast Boy, a.k.a. Changeling, depending on what period of time you're talking about, because, that's a name that swaps back and forth all the time. But he and Cyborg are such good friends in the New Teen Titans book that Perez and Wolfman did. It kind of fits. And because of how Cyborg is created, it also kind of fits.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, the Doom Patrol seems to, at least in the show, I don't know if it's in the comic as well. It seems to be these like gnarly accident characters.
Yeah,
like it's not like a lightning bolt hit me and chemicals and I'm really fast now. It's like I fell into a fucked up like river.
They're the freaks.
And now exactly. You're a freak.
They're the freaks. And I have to say. For all of the characters' origins, they kept them very close to the story, the original stories. Very, very close. Rita's is almost identical. Almost. Larry's is pretty damn close. Making him gay is new. But actually, any of them having a family. They never had that.
I was going to say, does Robot Man have the...
No.
So no kids.
No kids, no married, no nothing.
Because he seems pretty
also,
inspired by his daughter, Clara.
It seems like his driving force.
And he's actually killed. What you think is going to happen, he gets eviscerated on the race course, which doesn't happen in this show. It's changed completely.
That was actually really cool too.
It was good. It worked, and I'm okay with it. Because you have that feeling that's when he gets killed,
right,
or whatever is on the race course, and then he zips under the car. It's some great special effects.
Yeah.
I was keen on that. I love the whole thing with him. I'm going to be better. It works. It works into the character later in the show when he's the only one that wants to go out and be the hero.
Yes,
that's so perfectly Cliff Steele from the. I love it. I love Cliff Steele.
They nailed it.
Well, I don't want to say it until that episode comes out. He's one of my favorite DC characters of all time.
It's a little treat. If you listen to the show, we got our DC heroes and villains popping up.
I'm also curious about in the show when they all end up going out together. And that's when things start happening, when they're all together.
Well, I loved how
I want to know more about that.
The news media makes him out to be the hero when they fucked it up themselves.
Yeah.
Now the Rita turning into a puddle of goo.
The blob?
Yeah, that is new.
I was going to ask you, how do they do that in the comics?
They didn't. She just basically would stretch herself. Now I'm waiting.
And she could also grow,
and
right?
grow. Yeah, she basically is stretchable.
Like Elastigirl or something?
That's her name.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, they're going to call her Elastawoman.
Elastawoman, okay.
Because she is a woman. But that puddle of goo thing, that happened in the Keith Giffen run of Doom Patrol. Because that particular Rita Farr is well, I guess I'll give this away. In that particular version of the Doom Patrol, that run of the Doom Patrol, that Rita Farr is a clone of the original Rita Farr, who was killed, like I said earlier, by their mortal enemies.
Okay.
Jeez.
Yeah. She was the only one of the trio to actually die because Larry came back and Robot Man had been back for some time.
Larry's just energy, and energy can't die, right?
It was something, I honestly forget how it worked. I have to go back and reread those. Those are the Kupperberg issues, and they were very good. To this day, I still think that first issue of the Kupperberg Doom Patrol has some of the most memorable scenes in it. I think we talked about this before, where Cliff comes out of the water.
Yeah,
and he's just like you see in the Titans episode where he's sitting there going, "How does that taste?" Because he can't taste anything, he can't feel anything.
That was that you didn't see the Titans episode. There's a scene where Larry cooks breakfast or dinner for everybody.
Yeah.
And Rita, they kind of touched on it here. She has to eat a lot.
She eats a lot.
Oh yeah,
that's
like
new
3
too,
chickens
so.
in the
Okay.
show.
Yeah.
So in the scene where they're at the table eating and Raven and Beast Boy are there, they're all eating and poor Robot Man's just sitting there going,
"How does that taste?"
Yeah.
I used to like pizza.
Yeah.
He's just like sitting there like, and it's, he's got those eyes.
Those clicky eyes, yeah.
How does that taste?
So there's this whole scene in the first issue that Paul Kupperberg wrote where he comes out of the water where they were blown up. He had seen the body of Rita Farr under the ocean, and he can't cry, he can't feel like. He can feel the emotions, but he can't do anything about it. It's such a devastating scene, and I'll never forget it.
Yeah, when you think about it, that's pretty horrible.
Yeah.
Yep.
When you can feel, but you can't let anything out.
Yep.
Right.
He
can't laugh.
And
cry,
it was
can't
Steve
feel
Lytle.
pain.
Steve Lytle was the artist, who was a really, really good artist, and never gets enough credit for some of the stuff he did. He just drew the hell out of this thing. He was a robot in anguish, but has no facial features that can move or any of that nature. He's just this robot from that time period. So he's kind of clunky looking.
Sad 60s robot.
Yeah. I love Cliff Steele though, man.
All right, so that's us talking about Doom Patrol.
I give it big thumbs up. I think
I'm looking forward to episode 2.
I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it because they're nowhere near being a super group at this point.
No.
The Crazy Jane character is like the true spin in the mix. You never know what the hell's going to happen, and she's kind of like driving them to do things, but with no goal.
I like that scene where they're just sitting in the parlor, like watching TV. Like they're this team, and they're not superheroes at this point, or whether they're ever going to be.
They're just a group of freaks.
They're just a group of freaks, like watching TV while Dad's away.
Yeah.
Well, let's take the bus. Like, not supposed to take the bus.
The black bus.
The black bus. All right, Lloyd, you got anything? What do you have? You got notes. Let's see what Lloyd's got going on. You got anything good?
Oh, so we're done with Doom Patrol?
We're done with Doom Patrol, I think.
All right. Yeah, good show. Looking forward to seeing more of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Do we know how many episodes it is? Is it the same as Titans?
I think it's like 10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
So for you guys are both going to hate this.
That's all right.
For
the
fans,
show's not for us.
For fans who might actually listen to Pint of Comics and watch the Walking Dead TV show, there is now rumors of a spin-off, another spin-off, not Fear the Walking Dead, another one.
It's Fear the Walking Dead.
Fear the yeah. I've also heard that they're supposed to have Hulu is supposed to have the distribution rights to it.
Is it from the zombies' point of view?
I don't know. I've also heard
they
that
don't say zombies.
That it might be Maggie-centric. These are all rumors.
Well, Maggie is on another show now. I saw a trailer.
Whiskey Cavalier on ABC.
It looks terrible.
Oh.
It's her and Scott Foley. Remember Scott Foley?
No.
He was
the name's familiar.
He was
I just saw him on that Andy Cohen show.
He was on what?
He was on Felicity years ago. And
so you watch Felicity?
When I was first dating Lindsay, yeah. I think I saw the first season.
And I get hammered for watching Glee.
Oh, I've got my secrets. No, Scott, if you saw Scott Foley, you'd recognize him. He's one of these guys that's been on a bunch of TV shows and he's totally unmemorable. So he plays like an FBI agent, and Lauren Cohen, who played Maggie, plays a rogue CIA agent. And of course, there's going to be a meet cute. And I watched the trailer or the commercial for it the other day, whatever you want to call it. And I just went, that's one season, if one season at all.
It seems like a one-season show to me.
It looks so bad.
Yeah, I'm curious.
Kind of like the Blacklist.
I thought I heard
Blacklist is still on, I think.
Yes, it is. And it had a spin-off.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
I haven't had cable in years, so
that show's unwatchable.
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
It's funny when you don't have cable hookup anymore. I mean, you don't really get the local channels anymore.
You don't know what's on.
You don't know what's going on. Yeah.
Is the show with Lady Sif with all the tattoos still on?
Yeah.
See, like I would never think that would last.
You want to talk about unwatchable? That show is awful.
Wow.
She's great. Blind Spot.
Yeah.
The premise of it was interesting, but it should have been over like after the first year and a half.
Yeah.
Give it 30 episodes and be done with it. The lead actor in that is just unwatchable.
It's Scott Foley.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know who it is.
Sorry, Lloyd. All right, what else? We got?
So
we never talk negative things,
I believe the new Weezer album came out this week. The Black Album.
Is it out?
That's what I heard. I haven't heard it, but
can you do
it
that
can't
again?
come.
What's that?
You went way high pitched.
Is it
out? It couldn't have come any sooner because can you fucking stop playing Africa by Weezer, please? I hate that song. That whole cover album is boring as shit.
I didn't know they did it.
It was a big thing like in the summer. Like they did Africa, and in all honesty, it's a super plain cover. And you might as well just hear the Toto version.
Yeah. I don't even want to hear that.
There's a story behind that one. I'll tell you off.
I'm a Weezer fan. I'm a Weezer fan.
I am too.
Let me tell you this about Weezer.
It's terrible.
Weezer has had two great albums. The first two great albums. They had maybe one or two that were really good.
Pinkerton
and the Blue Album.
The Green Album was really good.
Green Album's okay. Maladroit is really good.
Yeah.
And there's been a couple here and there, yeah.
They've had good songs here and there.
But here's the thing.
Those.
The last, I'd say three, the white one, the White Album, that Pacific Daydream. And this is a band that...
The Red Album was pretty good.
Even 15 years after their, Red Album, stuff like that, I was still enjoying it. I'm getting to the point now where it's like, I'm just not...
Yeah, I hear you.
And I listen...
You want more Fall Out Boy?
No, not a fan.
Panic at the Disco.
Not a fan. I threw on that covers album one day on the Amazon Prime.
It's so bad.
And it's not bad. It's just there's no point to it.
That's what I mean. I don't care about any of them.
Is it as bad as Nat King Cole's daughter singing with everybody? What was her name?
They did a great cover.
Natalie
King
Cole
yeah.
Of Radiohead.
Paranoid Android.
Paranoid Android is so good.
Yeah.
So fucking good.
Yeah, the drummer plays guitar.
These are all terrible.
Yeah.
Weezer with Natalie Cole.
Yeah. Yep.
What else you got?
What else I got?
Now that Lloyd's part of the show, we're making him go through those notes.
He's got the notebook.
Right, we're not going to talk about it, but
we're not.
I want you to explain to me, why does everybody hate the Dark Phoenix trailer?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
I can't tell you for sure because I only saw the first one that came out like a year ago when the movie was supposed to come out.
Yeah.
I'll tell you why everybody hates it. Because those movies are fucking garbage.
I disagree, but
See, I thought
they're watchable.
The only one I
like a few
I'm not an X-Men
X-Men
fan.
movie. I like a few of them.
I'm a very casual X-Men fan. I enjoyed the second one.
What was it? First Class? Was that the first?
First Class was good.
Yeah, that was
Yeah, that
good.
was
First
good.
Class was good.
I actually like Days of Future Past to a certain extent.
I like that
It
one
wasn't
too.
it wasn't great, but it was watchable.
And I did
It's
not
better
see-
than X3 or whatever the hell that thing
That
was
was
called.
terrible. And I did not see Apocalypse, so I don't know.
Oh, that was. I fell asleep watching that like 6 times. I gave up.
I think part of the reason that people hate this thing is because the movies really haven't been that great all the way through. They're very kind of some here good, some here not so good. But I think also people know that these are being absorbed into it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like this movie is this is Dead Man Walking, because once this movie comes out, the next time you're going to see X-Men is all different actors. And all different.
Well, that's a shame. They should keep the actors.
They
honestly.
should.
Well,
they should.
I mean,
to
they've
an
got
extent.
the same actors for the last few, right?
Right, but now it's part of the MCU.
Oh, yeah.
Marvel has kind of absorbed this into their thing, so it's not 20th Century Fox anymore.
Well, I know Hugh Jackman. He's not playing.
Hugh
Wolverine,
Jackman's done,
which is fine. You know, he did a good run with the character.
He did a super good run with it.
Logan was so
and
good.
Logan was awesome, and
It's a good way to go
It was
out.
okay.
For me, that's if Logan wasn't good, if Logan was like the first 2 Wolverine movies, and they said, okay, let's do one with you in the MCU, I'd be okay with it.
Yeah,
but
that's a good
Logan.
point.
Logan was to me so good, and it ended the character.
Yeah.
That it was like, okay, you know what? Now when the MCU eventually, and they're gonna have a Wolverine. Just rehire. The MCU is going to have to get used to this anyway because you're not going to have you're not going to have Chris Evans much longer.
Right.
Yep.
You're not going to have Hemsworth much longer. You're not going to have Robert Downey Jr. much longer. They're going to start relying on these.
They're going to run out of
characters.
Grecian formula to dye his hair and mustache.
After Endgame comes out in a couple months, you're going to have to rely on what's his name, Sebastian Stan and Anthony Mackie to be your faces. You know what I mean?
And that's, I guess, those are the 2 characters that they're going to put it right up on the MCU streaming service.
I heard something about that.
Sebastian, or at least the
Bucky.
characters, the Winter Soldier and Falcon are 2 of the main characters for their streaming shows. Do that.
If you did a Winter Soldier Falcon TV show with maybe like 7 or 8 episodes with good production quality and made it like almost like a, I don't want to say Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but make it like where they're like a kind of like a espionage / that kind of team, I would watch that.
I think you nailed it with like 7 or 8 episodes.
Oh, anything. We're getting to the point
You
where
gotta
almost
limit
anything. Certain shows, okay, like we're talking about Doom Patrol, 10 is good. Star Trek Discovery, 10 to 13
10
is
should be
good.
good, yeah. All right, how about we talk about the new Hellboy trailer that came out today?
Jesus,
Wow, we didn't.
I was gonna shit my pants.
That was loud.
Let's finish off with that for this
Yeah.
episode.
So you guys saw this trailer, right?
Yeah,
You made me.
we were. This is funny because we were. Remember, if you remember correctly, we were very kind of adversarial on the first trailer.
I was very supportive of it.
John was very pro.
Right.
I was very, and I think you agreed.
Yeah.
Kind of like, I don't know. The use of Moni Moni was.
We were not as keen on it as John was.
And John also agrees the Moni Moni was a bad choice.
Not a great idea, but I thought the trailer was very good. It gave you everything about Hellboy that needed to be there. If you're gonna do a reboot and you know the character, that's it.
Right.
That's the character.
So now we get the new trailer. And my initial thought upon watching the new trailer is the first trailer, if you took the bad song out of it and kind of took away the little bit of arguments I had, where I said that.
A little corny.
I didn't even think that. I just
thought so.
I thought the humor was.
My argument of the first
not
one
real.
was I felt like it wasn't different enough from the Perlman stuff.
Mm-hmm.
True.
To really make it a reboot. Like, this just seems like it could be the
Part
same
of the same
series,
thing, yeah.
just Perlman didn't come back. Okay, I didn't really have a problem with the trailer. The movie, like I said it right off the bat, I'm still going to go see it. This trailer, I'm not even going to say it seems like it showed too much, but man, this movie is either going to be 3 hours long.
It's big.
It's big.
I'm not sure this trailer left anything out.
Did they? I mean, they referenced...
There's nuances I'm sure you're going to miss because, like you say, it's big. It's like being hit with a giant
pretty epic,
fucking meatball in the face,
Let's just say right off the bat, Smoke on the Water, much better choice.
Well,
than
and not
Moni
just
Moni.
that, but like an orchestral.
Yeah, an orchestral. Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, orchestral maneuvers in the dark. I'm still gonna go see this movie.
Oh yeah, we got a date already.
Yeah,
right?
oh yeah,
we already made a date.
Let's the three of us go and we'll share a popcorn bucket.
I will say this for all you guys that were complaining about David Harbour looking not like Hellboy. This particular trailer, I know he's a different actor, which was my defense of it.
Right.
He's a different actor. He's gonna look different. Of course, he's gonna fucking look different.
Yeah.
This one, there were scenes that I really didn't like. Where
the look.
The look.
Yeah.
Where he punches Daimyo.
Yeah.
It just his color looked off.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the hair either.
Yeah, well,
because the Perlman Hellboy is more like the comic Hellboy, where
it's the samurai bun.
Samurai bun. You know, sure the hair is there.
Yeah,
but like
it's done upright.
I think the hair is part of the look that turns me off too.
Yeah,
I don't even know if it's that. It's just the makeup. It doesn't. It's. I'm not even sure what it is now. It's like they're scrunching his face.
Yeah,
up.
it's a little sour. His face is sour.
It doesn't look like David Harbour even, which is weird. I mean, at least with Perlman, it looked like him.
Perlman cannot be held down by makeup.
Right. But it also
when he was on Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah, it was.
You knew it was Ron Perlman, even though he looked like a fucking street lion.
Oh, I got. So but even then, it looked like the character from the comics. This they're going with a completely different look. It's almost like a hyper realistic Hellboy, which I don't think really works well. But whatever.
You get a little glimpse in the beginning of the trailer. It looks like a Rasputin. I'm thinking maybe right.
Maybe I don't know.
You know, and you get like
it should be, because if they're going to do the origin again,
I agree. I agree. I know Hellboy isn't Spider-Man. Spider-Man, we're done. We don't ever need it again.
I don't need
Superman, we don't need it again. No. Hellboy, I kind of get maybe. It's been 15 years since the first movie. It's been 10 years since the last. Yeah. So it's probably not a bad refresher to remember that, you know, the Nazis were trying to summon this thing, this whole thing. Right. But as long as it doesn't hit all the beats that the first movie hit,
which did it really well,
which did do it really well, and I know we joke around a lot about it a lot. I do like the second Hellboy movie, but I think the first one is much better.
See, I watched the second one again not long ago.
Yeah,
and it's so clunky. It's like being weighted down, and it's like if you're in a kiddie pool and someone throws like a couple of cinder blocks around your shoulders. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, Lloyd. What did you?
I'm not really drowning, but I'm. Yeah. But I'm just about to if I lay down.
It's like if you were in like the ocean and a toddler was holding onto you.
Yeah.
You're probably not going to drown, but it's still not super comfortable.
Any Pint of Comics listeners, try and take that analogy and use it again. You're good luck.
Yeah. So, Lloyd, what do you think of the generally pretty hot Milla Jovovich being the villain in this film?
Now, is she playing Hecate?
I don't know.
It sounds like it the way they discussed it.
Yeah,
and if it's taken it from the comics, it's got to be Hecate. But
yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking forward to seeing it.
She does look hot though.
She is. She's a good man. She's got to be like 45 at this point now. You know, she's. I guess what I'm trying to say is it's not impossible to be good looking at 45. Obviously,
right?
Obviously,
but she will. But she.
Someday I'll be there.
Long ago.
No.
No, what I mean is she seems timeless, kind of. It looks big. It looks apocalyptic.
It does.
He's riding a fucking dragon on fire with a sword
Burnt
on
out
fire.
The imagery is taken from other stories. They're digging way down the line of the Hellboy stories,
right.
and the Bureau of Paranormal Research and Defense. I don't know what the hell they're going for here. The story was we're going to make it more of a Hellboy story that's geared towards what Hellboy was, and this thing's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
I don't know.
I agree.
And no Abe Sapien that I saw.
Yeah.
No Roger, but you get Daimyo.
You get Daimyo and a female agent.
Ben Daimyo, which I hope is. No, that's not.
It's not Liz.
It's not Liz.
It's not who was the blonde?
Kate.
Kate. It doesn't. Well, it could be Kate.
Well,
maybe.
Kate, well, I hope it's not Kate because Kate's in her 50s.
Yeah.
And this woman is like beating people up with high kicks. And
I haven't read into the BPRD stuff in a while, so I don't know if she's a newer character. And she might have been a character in those books. There's so many of them that was in one issue.
Yeah, one issue
that they've expanded.
Oh, that could be. Well, that's possible.
You know.
All right.
Johann Kraus wasn't in a lot of books when they used him in the second. You know, he was coming up long, but he wasn't in a ton of books at that point when they used him in the second movie. So
I don't know.
No, I'm looking forward to it.
I am too. You know,
I
haven't even been to the movies yet.
I'm sorry.
I haven't even.
Did I ruin your expectations?
It's a flip flop. Is what it is. I was looking forward to it before. Now it's the other way around.
Yeah, I'm still in the same place I was. I want to see it because it's a Hellboy movie, and I'm just hoping that they don't destroy.
What kills me though?
Well, I don't get out to movies much.
I haven't been to a movie. I haven't been to a movie yet this year. So.
Well, this year,
nothing at all.
What kills me though is like, so they're doing this movie, and all the Hellboy and BPRD books are ending.
Yeah.
So it's a closed circle.
March 23rd of this year.
That's a Babylon 5 line.
Is Hellboy Day.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, March 23rd. Okay. Hellboy Day. So March 23rd will be at CT GamerCon at the Mohegan Sun.
Right.
Mitch Halleck's wonderful thing.
Excellent.
There.
The other game convention. So, yeah. So, I think that's it for this episode of Pint of Comics. Lloyd, thanks for joining.
I was going to say, you want me to take us out?
That's called a pregnant pause.
Thanks for joining. Sir John, thanks for having been here for the last 2 years, and I'll say thank you to me for just being me.
Thank you for all the work.
Thank you, John.
Thank you for all the work.
Oh, no problem. I like keeping you guys employed.
That's not quite what I mean.
You know what, Lloyd? Here's $5. Why don't you say what we always say when we go away?
All right. See ya.
See ya.
Kermit.
It's over, Johnny. It's over. Nothing is over. Nothing. You just don't turn it off.